You're listening
You're listening
to another episode
of the Fresh Takes
podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fresh Takes podcast. I am your host, Tim, alongside my two favorite co-hosts, Tank and Pat. What a doozy we got today, as week 13 is officially in the books. We only got 5 more weeks to go.
It's boiling down. Both conferences, wild card and in the hunt race is wide open now, it seems like. So
I don't want to say the wild
happens.
card. I don't really want to say that the wild card is really an open spot fully for the NFC because, like, number 5 seed is definitely either going to be the Cowboys or, hypothetically speaking, just hypothetically speaking here now, what happens if Dallas wins out and Philadelphia loses out? And, well, Philly could be number 5.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, what I mean? 5 seed's definitely already locked in of who it's going to be, kind of thing. It's going to come from the NFC East. But yes, 6 seed and 7 seed, it's a wide open.
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee of that. Dallas could lose the next 4 games. You just don't know.
It ain't happening.
We also said there was no way the Cowboys were losing to the Cardinals.
You had to bring that up.
We also said there was no way the Eagles were losing to the Jets. We also said there was no way the Giants were going to be this bad this year.
Well,
I mean,
So
okay.
you can never say, oh, it's guaranteed. Because what if Dallas would happen to lose out? What if Philly would happen to lose out?
I think if Philly lost out, they might still be the 7th seed.
Well, they would still make it, yeah. But I'm saying he said that the 5th seed is guaranteed to be one of the NFC East teams. It's not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed, but at this rate, it's likely to be one of those two. I think they are better than the next 2 teams that would be there. But yeah, I get what you mean, Tim.
I think next up would be what Seattle is next.
I was gonna say
Green Bay. Green Bay's making a hot run. They look.
Green Bay is making a hot run.
Next up. Oh no, next is Minnesota at 6.
Really?
So, I mean, hypothetically, yes. If Dallas would lose out, they would go 9-8, and if Minnesota would win out, they would be 11-6. So Minnesota would take it. Seattle's 9th.
Yeah, that loss hurt them.
Well, it's because they're 5-4 in the conference,
The
and
back-to-back
Minnesota's
losses.
6-3 in the conferences. And with Seattle being 1-3 in their division, they dropped that far. And I mean, while we're at it, the wild card for the AFC, you still have the Steelers and the Browns, but then the Colts and the Texans are both tied at 7-5. But since the Colts have the better head-to-head against Houston, the Colts are above.
Can we just go ahead and say it? I think when we did the halfway mark of the awards, Pat even brought it up that, D'Amico Ryans could be coach of the year. And I'm thinking if the way Houston's playing right now, I really think he does have a good point that he could be the coach of the year.
I definitely think it's between him, Dan Campbell, or Mike McDaniels.
Yeah.
I don't see Mike McDaniels getting it, though.
I do, because of turning the Dolphins around in a year and a half.
And just his personality. I'd vote for him to coach.
But since we were talking about the Cowboys and how Seattle, both of them in the playoffs, let's just go ahead, quick recap. Thursday night, Cowboys win in a barn burner against Seattle, 41-35. I actually thought that either it was going to go into overtime or Dallas was going to blow that one.
I did too.
I picked the Seahawks ahead of time, and I had a feeling they were going to play hot, and they did. They just didn't play hot enough. But when you come out and DK's on fire like that, yeah, it's hard.
I was actually afraid because the last, I want to say 5 Thursday night picks, including the Thanksgiving ones, when 2 of us pick one team and one person picks just the other, that person's team always wins. But we broke the streak this week when 2 of us picked Dallas.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've actually been noticing that.
So I was like, oh man, streak's gonna continue with Seattle.
Right?
Almost.
But all right. The game that did go into overtime, Tank's favorite, the Colts and the Titans going into overtime with the Colts coming out on top.
Yeah, that well, what was his who was it that it's what Minshew up there now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So um I think I've said it before, Minshew is definitely a great backup. I don't feel like he's, the full starter as your QB1, but as a backup coming in mid-season kind of thing. And I feel like he's helping the Colts out enough to look like a decent team.
What was
Hey,
the quote that he had?
I was just gonna say the Colts were thirsty, and Minshew brought the juice. Did you see him in the locker room
Yeah,
afterwards? Oh, he's loving every minute of this run.
he said, "We're very gritty. We're gonna find a way. It's not gonna be sexy, but dang, it's good." Which that's Gardner Minshew right there. Their playing has not been sexy, but hey, they're winning.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we'll cover it later when we talk about the Monday night game, since we can talk about it. But depending on how bad that injury is, the Colts and the Texans could sneak into the top seed of that division.
Well, then I guess back to Tank's point here. If the Colts would get in on the hot streak they are, Shane Steichen would be a good candidate for Coach of the Year too, to turn that franchise around too.
Steichen and D'Amico both. So, well, since we're on that, D'Amico Ryans and the Texans beat the Broncos 22-17. Russell Wilson has not thrown an interception in the last 5 games and throws 3 in this game and throws one in the last 7 seconds to end the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, big prospect Tank Dell went down that game, broke his fibula, and will be out for the season now.
Don't you have him on your fantasy?
But I mean, it's at least helpful because I needed to get rid of somebody so I could bring Jefferson back from IR. So I hate it, and I don't want to say it because of injury, but with Tank going down, that was an easy choice for who to drop.
Right.
But hey, before we go and cover another game, speaking of fantasy, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 6th seed spot in our fantasy, and either Tank or Pat will win it because they go head to head.
Pat, congratulations. I don't see me. I really don't see me winning this week.
I don't feel good about this week, buddy.
Listen, both of your biggest problems is your running backs.
Hey, listen. If Jahmyr Gibbs scores a touchdown, also you have Montgomery on your bench. You might as well throw Montgomery in your lineup because he's guaranteed to get you at least 6 points because he's getting a touchdown.
David Montgomery, 5 touchdowns in a row, which I told you last week to play Montgomery, and he got a touchdown. But, I mean, you won with the worst scoring game of the year where you won 73-65.
Yeah, it was bad.
But, all right, speaking of the Lions beat the Saints 33-28. Derek Carr could be done for the season.
Now that means, baby.
Looks like we're going to be eating some dubs. Pat, I'm pretty sure you're happy I gave you Sam Laporta.
Hey, he's turned out. I misplayed him one week, kept him on the bench one week when I shouldn't.
While I'm literally looking at my fantasy while we're talking, trying to literally figure out how I can try to pull this W out.
Well, good luck.
Well, it's a good thing you picked up Zeke, like I said, although he's questionable now. But they play the Steelers, and the Steelers have given up touchdowns to running backs the last 3 weeks.
What
Twice.
happened? Okay, let's go ahead and get into that Steelers game. Steelers lost 24-10 to the Cardinals.
It was
And
James
didn't that
Conner's
game go?
revenge game.
What didn't it? But also, wasn't it that game go into like delays a couple times?
It was delayed twice because of lightning, so they had to delay it. But
So, do you think that was a hindrance to? No.
because the
Well,
Steelers came out playing bad, and then Kenny Pickett broke his ankle.
well,
So-
hey, listen. Mitch's time to shine, baby.
Did he break his ankle? I thought it was just a sprain.
Last I saw that he had to go under ankle surgery,
Oh, he's done for the season.
most likely.
Tank, if you're looking for wide receiver help, Deontay Johnson is a.
Deontay Johnson's already with somebody.
Uh,
I told him to get Gabe Davis because Gabe Davis always has a great game against the Chiefs.
oh, that's true.
Hey,
Well, who would I pull
no
out?
matter
Who would
what.
I pull out? Who would I put Gabe Davis in for?
Drake London? Drake London's awful.
No, keep Drake London in.
Oh, hey, Pat, you're going to have to get a new receiver.
I don't know.
Say,
No, don't.
it's showing Christian Watson's not going to be playing.
Oh boy.
I'd play. I would put as a wide receiver. I would play Evan Ingram for you. That'd be a great wide receiver for you.
You can't even put him in, though.
Don't tell him that.
All right. Well, speaking of Zeke, Patriots lose 0-6 against the Chargers. That means the Patriots have lost the last 3 games 10-0, or 10-6, 10-7, 6-0.
Yeah, pretty great offensive output going on up there.
They put in
I
Bailey
picked them to
Zappi
win.
for this week, and Bailey Zappi got them 0 points.
So do you think they go back to Jones?
I think they just give up.
I think no, there's no Jones.
I think they just try and get the number 1 draft pick, and they take Caleb Williams.
Yep, there. I don't know. No,
Or
hope
knowing
really
them,
for
they'll
them.
go for like Bo Nix or something.
Although I guess the hope for them is their defense is really good.
I would say
Defense ain't bad.
holding those teams to only 26 points, but
Yeah, like
That's what I'm saying. It's not. They're not a bad defense. It's just offense crap.
yeah.
is struggling. And the only thing that's been going good for that offense is running, and now Ramondre Stevenson is injured.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and you know what defense isn't good at stopping anyone?
let me hear it, Pat.
It's the Commanders.
Oh man, the Commanders get absolutely destroyed by that Dolphins, 45-15.
Origami.
I know that was a scoregami.
You got me hooked.
The Dolphins just do it. They scoregami all over the season.
Yeah, this is what the Dolphins' 3rd one this year.
I can't remember.
I think so.
I think this is the Dolphins' 3rd. The Broncos have been in 2. So
Yeah.
there we go. That's Tyreek Hill, only 517 more yards until he hits 2,000.
He can do that, and
5 full games left. So yeah.
he can do that in 4. Honestly,
I was about to say,
he'll do it in
we got to
3.
have him do it in 4, though, because
Yeah.
then people are going to be like, there's that extra game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he 100% could have already had it by now if there wasn't 4 games that the starters were all benched in the 4th quarter.
Wait,
Yep.
did they play the Giants yet?
Yes.
Oh dang! I was gonna say there's 300 right there.
Well, actually, they have a pretty easy schedule going out. They have the Titans, the Jets, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills. So,
All right.
I mean, he could put up 200 on the Titans and the Jets alone, and then he would just need 117 more between the Cowboys, Bills, and Ravens. But
I don't.
we
I can see
are
him
hoping
honestly
he does
putting
it
up-
before the Bills.
honestly, I have a feeling he's going to put up about 110 on Cowboys.
He put up 102 against the Jets the first time they played. So, I mean, if he does that again, that's another 100-point game. But I think they didn't have Sauce Gardner when he did that.
I don't really think it matters at this point.
Well, I mean, Sauce Gardner's is a bum. Oh, that was the Black Friday game.
Yeah.
Let's see. When they played the Bills, he put up 58 yards.
Oh, they got the recipe.
Yeah, so
Or maybe he just wasn't going out his hardest. He didn't want to give him any film.
no, the Bills normally can stop Tyreek. I think that's the game that he did the least amount of. But I mean, the Titans don't have any corners, so the Titans probably will get smoked. Michael Pittman went all over them.
Right.
Let's see. This year, the least amount of yards he had was against New England. He had 40.
Oh.
And guess what team he had the most of?
Giants.
No, it was the Chargers. Week 1, 215.
Very nice.
But he did have 181 against the Giants.
So pretty close.
Yeah, that was the second highest. But all right, after that, Falcons and the Jets. Since we were talking,
that's what I was going to say. Let's get into the Jets game.
13-8. The Jets got a safety in that game against rookie Bijan, but then did absolutely nothing else the rest of that game.
So, questions about this team, real quick.
Questions.
We sit Wilson for Boyle, and then Boyle, I think, does somewhat decent, and they sit him for Simeon.
Boyle was not decent.
It was okay. It wasn't decent, but it was better than what Simeon did.
I mean, Boyle's no longer a Jet, okay?
Oh, I was going to get into that. I was going to get into
got
that.
Released this morning.
I was going to say he got released this morning, but then 25 minutes or 30 minutes later, they signed up something Rippin, wasn't it? Brett Rippin?
Brett Rippin.
Former Rams great.
Ripper.
Rippin. It's Rippin. I looked it up. I didn't know how you say his last name earlier.
Brett Grim Reaper.
Yeah, Grim Reaper. But I just don't understand it. Like how why? Why?
I don't know, man. This week was some pretty bad games.
Yeah, it's not like the Jets have much choices to make good decisions. So,
well, see, and I want to know if he's asking for a lot of money or something. But all these teams that are getting backup quarterbacks and nobody has gone for Nick Foles. Like the Steelers getting Trace McSorley, the Jets going for Brett Rippin, the Rams going for Carson Wentz, which I mean I get that. Carson Wentz was probably the best out of all of them.
Look at the Vikings.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs.
Did they trade for Dobbs?
They traded for Dobbs.
Okay.
I think they gave up a 6th and a 7th for Dobbs.
Okay, I couldn't remember if they traded or if that was just a sign.
Nope. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, before we hit the 4 o'clock games, let's send it on over to your favorite correspondent, Tank.
Welcome to this week's episode of That Catch, though.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get right into it. Here's your first video. It is none other than Christian Watson from the Green Bay Packers.
From the Chiefs, pressure's on. Love, throw, end zone, Watson! Oh, did he catch that?
Here's video number 2. It is from none other than Greg Dortch, Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, they're bringing everybody. And they're going to Dortch, who's...
Here's video number 3. It is from Elijah Moore of the Cleveland Browns.
Wants to go deep. He's got a man out there. It's Elijah Moore, and Moore
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you got to see those three wonderful catches that I thought. And can I have a drum roll, please? Your winner is none other than Christian Watson from the Green Bay Packers. Congratulations.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this week's Tank's That Catch with Tank is Christian Watson, which we'll cover that game later on. But
did you think I left any out this week?
I mean, unless we count last night, I want to say Evan Ingram had a pretty nice catch last night.
See, I didn't watch any of last night's game really, except for highlights. But I mean, it was already too late, kind of.
I'm trying to think if there was anybody that had nice catches. Oh, Devonta Smith, but that was more of a nice pass. That one where it looked like the Niners guy was going to run in and intercept it, but Jalen had it just far and out for him.
Ah, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, yeah.
But I would say that was more of a throw, not a catch.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, Pat, I don't want to crush your soul, but the 49ers on top, 42-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and wipe your tears away for you there, Pat. Let me wipe them away.
No crying here. I mean, can't win them all.
You can't.
Might as well lose them in the regular season.
You know,
I mean, we kind of called this one.
I was gonna say you got to. It was bound to happen. It was time for the Eagles to lose, and I'm not saying they could have won. I'm not saying they couldn't because they could have, but it was bound to happen. And
well, yeah,
I'm just glad that they scored 42 on the Eagles, just like they scored 42 on Dallas.
I think if you go back and watch our over and under, Pat, you and I both called that they would lose to the Niners, but then get pissed off and come back and beat Dallas. So,
yeah. And then they started off the game very hot offensively, but settled for 2 field goals early. And in a game like that, like you just can't.
Got to be aggressive.
What's your thoughts about? What's your thoughts about Goodell trying to ban the tush push?
I mean, it's marketable. Why would you ban it? It makes money.
I mean, you got to say, I wasn't expecting it to pass this year because of how many people have gotten hurt doing it. But I mean, also, if you don't know how to run it right, don't do it, or that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I'll say it now. I don't know why the Giants decided to do it and get 2 of their players hurt. They didn't do it right because they had the tight ends on the side, not up with the quarterback. So, I mean, if you don't do it right, stuff's bound to happen.
Right?
But, I mean, not to take away from the Niners, they're an absolute juggernaut. They look great. I mean, I hope there's a hypothetical where they get eliminated in the playoffs before the Eagles would have to see them because they're kind of scary. But different story if this is a wake-up call for the Eagles. Maybe they'll start games a little hotter than they have been and not have to play from behind and try to always catch up. So
I know one of the biggest things that I take away from that game that I kind of hate is now apparently Brock Purdy is the front runner for MVP just because of that one game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, when you throw 4 slants and the team does the rest for you, how do you become MVP of that?
Yeah, maybe Debo should be MVP because the 3 games he wasn't there, Brock looked awful.
Exactly. I think in my opinion, it's still Tyreek is the front runner. But, you know, if they're doing only quarterbacks again, I'm honestly giving it to CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
I would
say I think Stroud is a big time MVP at this point. But all right, let's talk about the guy who broke a record. Buccaneers beat the Panthers 21-18. Mike Evans, 10 seasons in a row with 1,000 receiving yards.
I thought he tied it with Rice.
I mean, he's gonna break it. Let's be honest.
That's
Yeah.
an insane record to tie or break, whichever. But that's crazy. Just yeah, I mean, he's been old Mr. Consistency.
Right. I gotta give it to
Reminds
him.
me of
Okay,
reminds me
so
a lot.
Jerry Rice has 11, so he would tie it next year.
Oh, okay. I thought he tied it this year.
Insane.
Very insane. I mean, shows you that he's. I'm not saying he's not coverable, but he's not coverable. If that makes any sense.
He is coverable. He just like mosses every single person and there is.
He has his catch radius is insane, and yeah, he knows how to use his hands. That's for sure.
Very 100% agreed with that statement.
On the other side, though, the Panthers. Man, we thought that it would be the Panthers' game since they just fired half their coaching staff, but apparently not.
Came up a little short.
Buccaneers prevailed, which unfortunately this means that the Panthers are officially eliminated from playoff contentions.
Yep.
Oh man.
Last week we tried doing the whole math of how they could do it, and this week they just
I even found the
they get
pictures
stumped.
showing you all that it was possible.
Yep. The Panthers come out. I mean, Chuba Hubbard did good that game, 104 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, but after that, nothing. So we had one more 4:00 game. The Browns with Joe Flacco in his first start since what, like 2021, 2020?
Something like that.
Unfortunately, losing to the Rams, though, 36-19.
I called that. You remember? I called the Rams beating that whole division. But hey, I've
I would
gotten
say,
one.
do we need to go back to how you said the whole division and the Bengals beat them? And the Ravens play them this week?
No. I just got one get right, okay?
I don't think they're beating the Ravens.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh beat them. So, you're 1-2 in your prediction right there. But, yeah, so Kyron Williams coming back once again, doing Kyron Williams stuff. But the rookie Puka Nacua going off in that game. 4 catches, 105 yards and a touchdown. But, I mean, one catch was for 75 yards. What?
Didn't he break a record or something?
Did he?
I think so. I might have read something.
I'm pretty sure I thought I did read something also saying that he did. I mean, he might have not. But
I know that he got hurt that game.
Oh.
And so did Amari Cooper.
Amari.
Yeah, Amari Cooper went down in that game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, the Browns, they're getting hit with the injury bug this year.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, like you said, there's a lot of injuries this year.
There's more injuries this year than I honestly thought there would ever be.
Yeah, especially with each year, they keep saying that they're finding ways to make it so that less people get injured and more people are getting injured every year. So, But, all right. With that being said, before we go into the Sunday night game, we're going to go to your favorite co-host for his have a day. I almost said get your flowers, but it's have a day. Get Your Flowers was the very first episode I did, and that's because it was Zay Flowers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Have a Day, which I'm actually going to need my co-host help for this part.
Which one?
Both of you. I could not really decide on who should get the Have a Day this week. So I'm going to give you my 3 nominees. I'm not going to tell you the names because I don't want it to be kind of bias-based, but I'm going to give you my 3 nominees, and you tell me who you think. So they're all receivers. First up, this player had 6 catches, 134 yards and 3 touchdowns. Player 2 had 9 catches, 191 yards, and 1 touchdown. And player 3 had 4 catches for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 rushing attempts for 22 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, who are we voting for here?
I'm going to see.
The player I just read about?
Yep.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Go opposite of me, Pat.
Give me C.
So we're all going C because C was actually the person that I was also thinking. So if that's the case, Deebo Samuel, have a day.
Yeah.
The other 2 was DK Metcalf and Nico Collins.
Sorry that we picked Deebo on the
DK's stat line with the 3 touchdowns.
So, on with that. The Packers stump the Chiefs 27-19 on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. Chiefs just aren't. I'm not saying the Chiefs look horrible, but the Chiefs don't look good.
Well, hey, there's that injury bug we were talking about. The Chiefs lost a good half of their defense.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't worried.
Is this the comeback for the Packers, though? Packers went on Sunday night, and Monday night they play the Giants.
Oh, there's back-to-back wins.
So back-to-back primetime wins for the Packers right there.
That's this Monday?
Yep, this Monday, Giants
Sundays,
and
Packers. We play Sunday night.
Yeah, Eagles and Cowboys Sunday night.
Good luck, Pat. I love you.
Yeah, good luck.
I think the Packers can actually do this. They have the Giants, Buccaneers, Panthers, Vikings, Bears.
So they could get, what, 7 seed?
I think they could sneak into 6. Because the other seed is the Vikings. And then I think they are the 7th seed, aren't they?
Are they 7 right now?
I'm pretty sure they are the 7th seed. Let me look.
Bucks, maybe?
Yes, Packers are 7th with the Rams right behind them.
Oh, yeah, the Rams.
So I think that they might potentially be able to push into the 6th. Which, if they do that, they'll probably end up facing the Lions. Because if the Niners keep 2nd, then the Niners would be playing the 7th seed.
Yeah.
So
Niners won't keep 2nd.
They'll push to 1st.
They're going to 1st after this week. When Dallas beats the Eagles and takes the top of the division, then the Niners will move 1st overall.
We won't. Honestly, I'm going to put it this way. It's been, since 2003, 2004? Since the NFC East has had a back-to-back winner, and this season, it's going to be the first time. It's going to be Philadelphia again. I'm sorry. Dallas just does not have the opportunity, I feel.
I mean, even if Dallas wins, they're still not going to be ahead of the Eagles.
How?
Because Dallas has lost to more NFC teams.
Division.
I don't know. Even with the division, because we've beaten all the division.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So it's the Eagles.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Eagles have lost. That would mean
the Eagles
lost to one NFC East team. Dallas has not lost any to the NFC East.
Okay, but it also goes off of conference. Dallas is 0-, not 0-3, however many teams they beat, but they're 3 losses in the NFC. Eagles would only have 2 then, because the Eagles lost to the Jets. So Eagles would still technically be above.
But doesn't it not go by your conference division? Your conference division first, then division or conference?
I'm not sure with the tiebreaker.
Well,
see, I think it goes by your division conference.
If we would both be 4-2 in division, say, then it would jump to conference record.
Yes. See, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I know. We'll just find out next week.
if we would beat the Eagles, then yes, I think we would be top of the division because we've beaten all the NFC East teams so far.
I mean, I just think we'll find out next week.
Yeah, we'll find out.
So I know that Miami is 9-3, and they're ahead of the Ravens because they have. Yeah, see, the Dolphins are 9-3. Baltimore's 9-3, but the Dolphins are over Baltimore because they have more conference games.
What's their?
I know they're not the same division, but I'm pretty sure.
Are they tied though? Divisional record?
Dolphins are 3-1. Baltimore's 3-2.
See, there's
Dolphins
3
have
and
the
2.
better division.
Yeah, they have a better division record. It's 3-1 compared to a 3-2.
I was gonna say the Chiefs have it over the Jaguars, but the Chiefs beat the Jaguars, so the Chiefs get over them.
Yeah.
And then that's why the 49ers might be first overall because they have both head-to-heads against Dallas and Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Niners also would have the conference over them as well. Because Dallas is 6-3 in conference, Philly's 6-1, the Niners are 7-1. So, all right. One last game, Monday night, that the Bengals won in overtime, 34-31 against the Jaguars.
The only thing I have to say about this game is when I saw the highlights, was when Trevor Lawrence went down, Hendrickson, tried to help him up, and then he went back down and he squatted down and kneeled and said like a little prayer. To me, it's beautiful sportsmanship. I don't care who you are, I don't care what team you are, I don't care if it's a major rival. If you can do that and put your self-esteem to the side for a second and do that, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, so hopefully Trevor Lawrence isn't out for a long time and the Jags can keep their season going. But if not, who's the backup?
Beathard.
Yeah,
CJ
Beathard, which he's not the best. So
yeah,
hopefully that doesn't destroy the Jags season. But
Nick Foles will get a call.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you guys did enjoy this episode. Unfortunately, we did not have the game for this week, but that's because we were trying to do a quick episode. It's not going to be a 2-part. It's only going to be a 1-part like we normally do. But other than that, the game will be back next week. The antics will be back next week, and we should have a video out on Tuesday next week because we'll actually record on Monday. But other than that, I'm signing off, taking it over to Pat.
All right, yeah. So our teams play Sunday night. Our fantasy teams play the weekend.
Damn.
It's just me versus you week, Tank, and may my team win both.
Well, good luck. Don't forget, you can follow us on the X, aka FKA ARTA, Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification button, and to share us out and to let everybody know about us. Other than that, this is Tank signing off, and you will see me again this weekend on Friday with another episode of Tank's Thoughts. Peace, y'all.
Let's go, Pat.
Oh, really?
Bye, everybody.